Kenji was known in his village as a kind and generous soul, always ready to help others, even at the expense of his own well-being. Despite his good intentions, Kenji often found himself overwhelmed, taken advantage of, and feeling empty inside. One morning, Kenji arrived at the monastery where Zen master Hiroshi resided. A monk opened the door and greeted Kenji with a warm smile. "Welcome, traveler. How may we assist you today?" Kenji bowed respectfully. "I have come to seek the wisdom of Master Hiroshi. I am troubled and in need of his guidance." The monk nodded and led Kenji through the tranquil courtyard, past the meditating monks, and into a small, simple room where Master Hiroshi was seated on a cushion. The master looked up, his eyes radiating calm and understanding. "Please sit," Hiroshi said, gesturing to a cushion across from him. Kenji settled down, feeling a sense of peace wash over him in the master's presence. "Master Hiroshi, I have come to you because I am struggling. I try to be kind and helpful to everyone, but I often find myself feeling drained and unappreciated. I do not know how to balance my desire to be kind with my need to take care of myself." Hiroshi nodded slowly, taking in Kenji's words. "This is a common struggle, my young friend. The desire to help others is noble, but it must be tempered with wisdom and self-respect. Let me tell you a story." Kenji leaned in, eager to hear the master's tale. Long ago in a lush forest, there stood a tall oak tree and a slender bamboo plant. The oak tree was mighty and strong, its branches spreading wide and its trunk thick and sturdy. The bamboo, on the other hand, was thin and flexible, swaying gently with the breeze. One day, a fierce storm swept through the forest. The wind howled and the rain poured down in torrents. The oak tree, proud of its strength, stood firm against the storm, refusing to bend. The bamboo, however, bent with the wind, allowing itself to be pushed and pulled in all directions. As the storm raged on, the oak tree began to strain under the pressure. Its branches creaked and groaned, and eventually, with a mighty crack, it split and fell to the ground. The bamboo, though battered and tossed about, remained standing, swaying gently as the storm passed. When the storm finally subsided, the forest was littered with fallen branches and debris. The bamboo stood tall amidst the wreckage, its slender form a testament to its resilience. Hiroshi paused, allowing the story to sink in. Kenji sat quietly, contemplating the meaning of the tale. "The oak tree's strength was its downfall," Hiroshi explained. "It refused to bend and adapt, and thus it broke. The bamboo, on the other hand, was flexible and resilient. It knew when to yield and when to stand firm. This is the balance we must seek in our lives." Kenji nodded slowly, beginning to understand. "But how do I apply this to my own life, Master Hiroshi? How do I know when to be kind and when to stand up for myself?" Hiroshi smiled gently. "It begins with self-awareness and self-respect. You must learn to listen to your own needs and honor them, just as you listen to the needs of others. Let me share with you another story. In a distant monastery, there lived a monk named Satoshi. Satoshi was known for his boundless generosity and kindness. He would give away his food, his clothes, and even his time to help those in need. The other monks admired his selflessness, but they also noticed that Satoshi was often tired and worn out. One day, an old monk named Kenta visited the monastery. Kenta was wise and had traveled far and wide, learning many lessons along the way. He observed Satoshi's behavior and decided to speak with him. "Satoshi," Kenta said, "I see that you are very kind and generous. These are admirable qualities, but I also see that you are often exhausted and depleted. Why do you give so much of yourself?" Satoshi looked down, feeling a pang of guilt. "I do not want to be seen as selfish, Master Kenta. I want to help others and make a difference in their lives." Kenta nodded thoughtfully. "Helping others is indeed a noble pursuit, but you must also take care of yourself. If you do not, you will soon have nothing left to give. Allow me to share a story with you. Once there was a kind-hearted king who wished to provide for his people. He ordered his servants to fill a large cup with water from the finest spring in the land. The cup was placed in the center of the village, and the people came to drink from it, quenching their thirst. As time passed, the cup began to run low. The people continued to drink, and the water level dropped further and further. Soon there was nothing left, and the people were left thirsty and dissatisfied. The king realized his mistake and ordered that the cup be filled once more. This time, he instructed the villagers to wait until the cup was overflowing before they began to drink. The water spilled over the sides, and everyone was able to drink their fill. The cup remained full, and the people were happy and content. Kenta looked at Satoshi, his eyes filled with wisdom. "You see, Satoshi, you must fill your own cup first before you can truly help others. When you are nourished and fulfilled, your kindness and generosity will overflow naturally, and you will be able to give without depleting yourself." Satoshi nodded, understanding the old monk's words. He realized that he needed to take care of himself in order to continue helping others effectively. Kenji listened intently, absorbing the lessons from both stories. He realized that being too nice and giving too much without regard for his own well-being was like the oak tree refusing to bend or the cup that ran dry. He needed to find a balance between kindness and self-respect, between giving and receiving. "Master Hiroshi," Kenji said, "I understand now. I must learn to listen to my own needs and honor them, just as I listen to the needs of others. But how do I begin this journey of self-awareness and balance?" Hiroshi smiled warmly. "Begin with small steps, Kenji. Practice mindfulness and meditation to cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to your own feelings and needs. Learn to say no when necessary, and do not be afraid to set boundaries. Remember that true kindness comes from a place of strength and balance, not from a place of self-sacrifice and depletion." Kenji felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He bowed deeply to Master Hiroshi. "Thank you, Master. I will take your wisdom to heart and strive to find balance in my life." Over the following weeks and months, Kenji dedicated himself to the practice of mindfulness and self-awareness. He spent time meditating each day, focusing on his breath and observing his thoughts and feelings without judgment. He began to notice when he felt overwhelmed or drained and took steps to address these feelings. Kenji also learned to set boundaries with others. He realized that saying no was not an act of selfishness, but an act of self-respect. By honoring his own needs, he was able to give more genuinely and effectively when he chose to help others. At first, it was difficult for Kenji to break his old habits. He struggled with feelings of guilt and fear that others would think less of him. But with time and practice, he began to see the positive changes in his life. He felt more energized, more at peace, and more fulfilled. His relationships improved as well, as others began to respect his boundaries and appreciate his kindness even more. One day, Kenji returned to the monastery to visit Master Hiroshi. As he walked through the familiar courtyard, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey he had undertaken. He found Hiroshi in the same simple room, seated on a cushion, and bowed respectfully. "Master Hiroshi," Kenji said, "I have come to thank you for your wisdom and guidance. I have learned to find balance in my life, and I feel more at peace than ever before." Hiroshi smiled, his eyes twinkling with warmth. "I am glad to hear that, Kenji. Remember, the journey of self-discovery and balance is ongoing. Continue to practice mindfulness, listen to your own needs, and honor them. In doing so, you will find that your kindness and generosity will flow naturally like the overflowing cup." Kenji nodded, feeling a profound sense of understanding. "Thank you, Master. I will continue to walk this path with your wisdom in my heart."